Thanks for being here. I'm Ed Parcaut and Francisco Ruvalcaba again.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good morning.
Hey, my pleasure. Anything great going on this week? Yeah, I'm still alive.
Right. I know. No, I've been busy. Yeah, I've been pretty busy, trying to help out as many people as I can.
You seeing any issues? I mean, where people are running into issues? I mean, anything that holding them back?
Well, the big thing right now is, obviously with the rates, everyone's kind of wanting to get credits, and like we were saying, I mean, a few months ago, it was pretty easy, and it's starting to get difficult. I mean, we actually have a mutual client. I took him out. We submitted probably 6-7 offers within the past week, and then finally one got accepted. Right. But even then, we're asking for the credits, but we're offering about 10, 15, at times 20,000 more than what they were asking to offset it. So yeah,
and hopefully the values come in.
Right. So that's the biggest part.
A lot. So the one you're talking about is somebody who wants a certain payment, right? They want this big house, but they have to have this low payment. And I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just saying, but they have this payment thing in mind when I try to explain to them. So they'd rather take, this is an example, 20 grand and buy the rate down, which I think is ridiculous because they're probably going to get that rate in a year from now or a year and a half from now. Save that money, save your money for make the difference in the payment out of that money for that period of time. You follow me?
Right.
But some people want to be secure with their payment. I get it. I even looked at the 3-2-1 buy down for the same thing. And that's what a lot of builders are doing is they're doing the same thing. They're giving 20 grand and buying that rate down either permanently or with the 3-2-1 buy down. The 3-2-1 buy down is really unique. I mean, the first 2 years, it's really low payment. The third year is not, it's not as low. And the fourth year it goes to what it should have been from the beginning. Well, in 4 years from now, you're not going to be in this loan anymore.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. I mean, the good thing too with those
temporary, I hope I didn't come off wrong with that, but
no. I mean, and that's the thing. Everyone obviously has different goals or different comfort levels, right? Mm-hmm. And for some people, the payment is like the biggest thing.
And I get that to a certain point.
Right. But I mean, I totally understand what you're saying though, too, right? Like me personally, that's exactly what I did. I pocketed the money. I will always advocate for that. However, it's not like
a savings account. Have it sitting there.
Right, because it's essentially the same thing that a temporary rate buy down is doing, right?
Yes, it is. It's like just somebody else is holding that money for you.
Yeah. So,
or even a permanent rate down, you're just not getting all the way down as you could, and it stays there. But what happens is, you pay 20 grand to buy that rate down, and then in a year and a half from now, it's lower than that.
It's lost money.
Yeah.
I think which I'm glad. I mean, it seems like he's going to take the temporary rate buy down route, which like at least with that temporary rate buy down route, if you refi, the money's still there.
Some of it, because most of it's gone the first year.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest difference in the payment. Second, depending on if it's a 2-1 buy down or a 3-2-1 buy down. But the first year is really huge because I know on a 3-2-1 buy down on a certain normal, that's almost 10 grand that first year difference in the payment that they're doing. That's huge numbers. And it's the second year that's about half of that, and the third year is about half of that. I'm talking about half of each going down.
Yeah, I think it's I think definitely, if you were to do a rate buy down right now, the temporary is the way to go. Just because I mean I do, and it is hard, right? Because when I am like coaching and guiding my clients, like it's like I tell them, you obviously want to make the best choice for yourselves. I think if you can hold on to the money, it's a lot better. But like we say, some people just aren't at that comfort level. However, I think it's at least the better route to take rather than long-term. Because right now long-term is good too. We've seen it and you're at that comfort level. However, just personally pocket your money.
Well, I mean, the problem is, I just, today's rates aren't that bad. FHA. Yes, I think we've just become used to them. Right. It took us a while to get to them. It's almost a year. We've been doing this. I mean, we're in May. Today is May 4th. Be with you. So, I mean, and it hit us in October. Right. I mean, the big jump started in June of last year where they started going up. So we're almost a year into this. Right.
Yeah. People got impatient, I think that's really where it is now. And people started to realize that the rates weren't going to be, or that prices weren't going to be dropping. And that's the big part, as well as we keep moving forward, they're only going to keep getting pricier.
Right. I'm smiling because I keep having people ask me, when do you think the value is going to drop? Because I want to wait till then. They did already.
They adjusted. Yeah.
And it really didn't adjust. It just, they didn't go as fast. So people were getting worried, and they, wanted to, here's extra money, take my house. And now that's not happening anymore. That shared appreciation program took a few hundred homes across the state of California off the board, but it also increased demand and people coming out. And I think there was a hangover after that program went away, right? For the first week or so, people were like, I can't believe I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? That I missed the boat. And then like, okay, well, what you don't realize, there really wasn't that much money.
No.
Right. There's only a few people, a handful of people got into in our area and other areas, and because it's the whole state.
Yeah. It's like Los Angeles home prices, really.
Well, they're $1 million. So
Yeah.
it went up to the high balance anywhere. So if you had, 300 of those, it was gone. It was like 200. It was like 260 some home. It was ridiculous.
And with that too, I
thought for sure it'd be 300 or 400, but it was only in that couple hundreds.
Wait, really? It was
like, it was less than 300 homes. I could have swore that's what I heard. I don't know how that could be
in all of California. That goes so fast. That's the thing is, again,
we'll find out when it's finalized and done. We'll find out what the final number is.
Wonder what they're going to do with the leftovers,
have dinner.
They
give it back. This is going to go for our new program. What's your new program? We don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, honestly, for my clients personally, the ones that lost out on it, like, it was unfortunate. Yeah. However,
but the problem is a lot of them didn't move fast enough too.
Well, yeah, and
everybody thought we had plenty of time. Don't worry, you have plenty of time. No, the first week, a third of it was gone in the first the first week from Monday to Monday, and then it was only here till the following Friday. It was done by 9:30 on that Friday.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those are actually going to appraise too. Granted, it's 20% down. I wonder if they were as lenient.
They'll just adjust. They'll just adjust it without it, so it's not a real big deal.
Well, that's the thing too, is like now what I've been seeing with offers, like I mentioned, even like with some of my other clients that submit an offer. Sorry about that.
No, I'm hearing static.
No, yeah, I can hear it a little.
All of a sudden, they started coming.
But
keep talking.
No, as I was submitting offers for my clients and everything, and some of those, like I said, where we have to offset it, go up higher and then offset it with the credits. We were also starting to see some of those sellers kind of coming back and saying, hey, if it doesn't appraise, then what? And I was like, well, my client's asking for credits. So if it doesn't appraise, we need you guys to drop it down. They're like, well, they might just have to go with some of those credits.
Yeah, well, that's how it normally works. Normally.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son he closed last Friday on his first house, 22, by the way. Nice. At his first house. Yeah. VA. And that was, it came in lower and they adjusted the price down. But then, he still, there were still credits towards, and so we had some credits that we had in our industry that the person who was doing the loan for him was able to apply it. And then the agents kicked in some, so he didn't have to come in with any extra money.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, it's in Washington. Washington's the 50th state in this right now with real estate. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. How cheap did you get that?
He's in a gated community with a lake. And I think it was like 400.
That's not bad.
No.
Big house?
No. It's smaller than our house. I think it's like 15 something.
That's still really good though.
No, but it's for where he wants to, where he's going to be working. He's going to commute. It's right now, Washington State is actually it's not a great place to, for if you look for standards and where to live and everything else that's going on. For some people, it's not the greatest state to be. It just has a military base there. And so that's where he's getting stationed. So,
yeah. Even if it's temporary, it's always a great investment.
Well, yeah, he's never going to sell this house.
Yeah.
He got in for nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not even a dime.
Yeah. With VA, like if you buy a secondary house with VA, do those same,
Okay, well, you have to buy it as a primary.
Correct.
So if he get transferred, if he stays in or whatever and gets transferred to another place, he can buy VA with his leftover. Yes.
Nice.
Or what you do is you can refinance that one to conventional, and then you get your thing back and buy it somewhere else. But you can have two, but it just eats into your eligibility how much you can have.
All right. Yeah. No.
And then a certain portion of that has to be put down. So if you have enough, and then say that you're short $100,000, right? You have to. It was in the past. I have to relook at it, but in the past, you'd have a quarter of that. You'd have to put down like 25,000.
I see.
But on some of these, it's like, oh, you're short, 10 grand. Okay, I'll come in with $2,500.
That's not bad at all.
It just depends. You got to run the numbers to see where it's at. And now with a new thing, I haven't had anybody do it, so I haven't really had to work on it. You follow me?
Well, those VA rates are still the best right now, right?
Yeah. But they're government. I mean, they're like, the problem is what I've been saying. We're not as low as we should be because they know something's going to happen. All right. So when I originate a loan, let's just say for 500,000. I think I ran this before. I don't know if I told you. It cost 508,000 to originate that loan. So when I sell it to the investor, they're paying 508,000 for it. Mm-hmm. They need to keep it for a period of time to make that money back. And so what they do is they go, okay, well, it's going to take us, we're thinking that's why they have an early payoff is for interest, and you have to get back money so that they become whole. They figure they're going to keep it for 4 years and make their money off of it. Well, right now, everybody's like, oh, you're going to be refinancing in a year, or you're going to be refinancing in 2 years. So why would I want to buy that loan and know I'm going to be paid off in a year or 2 years from now? If I'm going to buy that loan, I want to have a premium up front to make sure that I'm going to buy that loan and make me whole. And so that's what's happening. Rates aren't dropping as much as they should be. VAs aren't as low as they should be. FHAs aren't as low as they should be. Conventionals aren't as low as they should be because of that right now. Once we know rates are going to be at a certain thing for a period of time, we'll start getting better rates. Are you following me here?
Yeah. And well, that's
again, this is my opinion of what's going on. Not necessarily the way it is, but that's kind of how I see it.
Makes sense. And that's so for that change, what do you think? Like just higher origination costs, or?
Well, that's where it is right now. That's why that's why instead of maybe 5, and because we were where we were now, a lot lower rates for VA and stuff, and now we're not as low for that. Mm-hmm. As what it should be. Like when I ran the numbers on that FICO score I was telling you about, and the FHA was 6.5 versus the 7.5 conventional. Well, that should be like 5.99 VA or FHA, not in the 6s like it is, but it is there. You follow me? Yeah. And there for a while they were so close, conventional and FHA and VA. It was, what's going on here? What's the problem? And I think it has to do with that.
So those higher rates are pretty much like eating that.
Well, it's just so that they can have a little premium to help offset the cost of getting that loan originated. Yeah. And what are you going to do? I mean, I don't want to buy a loan that's going to be paid off in a year. I want a loan that's going to be there for years. That's how I make my money off the interest.
Yeah.
Right.
And like how, so do you think leading towards that, like where does that leave future investors, right? That like are going to be doing those refinances? Like how much cheaper is that going to be?
Well, that down the road when rates drop and we're going to be there for a while, they know that we're not going to get back to the 2s and 3s, right? Unless we're in some ridiculous, horrible recession. Yeah. Right. Super, super bad. I can't say we're not going to get there, but right now with the jobs and things are changing where employers are getting the upper hand again, where you come into work. No, I don't want to come in. Okay, but it's been nice knowing you. Have a great day. We got somebody else to take your position. Right. That's what it's getting back to. And we'll keep going that way forward. No longer will the employees control that, except in California, of course, because our government's all towards employees in California. They don't think employers are important. That's why everyone's leaving the state. Again, I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry how I just add that shit in there as I'm talking. But it's not just us. There isn't a tax this state doesn't love. Yeah. And that's a problem. That's why employers don't like to have their offices here. They put it elsewhere. It's the dude from Shark Tank, the not Dennis O'Leary,
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, thank you. He's like, New York, California are not good places to start a company because they're not pro-business. They're so negative business.
They're Nebraska.
Well, he had a huge company he was putting together, ended up putting it in Norway or someplace like that because of that. And it's like, I'm going to put my businesses where I'm going to make money, and they want me there. For some reason, it feels like California doesn't want anybody here.
Well, that's where you start seeing people opening up LLCs in different states too, right? And
Yeah, but then you're a foreign entity in California still. You still have to pay some taxes.
I think it's good.
Yeah. But then that's why a lot of companies have went with VAs and 1099 people, and no longer, having employees, because it's just so costly to have employees. Not everybody, but that's just kind of where a lot of companies have been going.
Right.
Look at our industry, in your industry. There's not a lot of employees, even though they keep trying to push you guys as employees. In our industry, as a loan officer, you're supposed to be W-2, payroll, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And you get paid minimum wage. There's ways around that by having it, companies and other stuff. So
it'd be really hard if we, had to go that route.
Well, the problem is, how do you pay somebody W-2 as the minimum wage when you don't really know how long they're working that day?
Yeah.
Right.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done talking today.
No,
it's a great time to buy. If you can get into contract, do it now, because you don't know where these values are going to be in 5 years from now. They're not going to be lower. They're going to be much higher. We just don't know how much higher.
Yeah. I think definitely even just getting into something, like if it's not the forever home, just get into something.
Your first house is never your forever home.
Yeah. Like I have someone who she has like 50,000 saved up right now. And she was like, oh, I want to wait until I have 100,000 saved up.
No.
I told her, how long is that going to take you?
Have you had somebody talk to her and run the numbers and show her what she's wasting?
I've been trying to have her understand that.
Take one of my books on the way out, give it to her.
Yeah, because I think that's.
I'm not kidding.
Well, I'll actually because I've yet to even see her in person. Like, she hasn't been motivated enough to get to that point yet. But it's like I told her, I said, look, if you wait until you can save up another 50,000, by the time you have the 100,000, you might need another 50 to 100.
Right. You're gonna say, I'm gonna wait until I have another 50.
Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle.
Yes, you can't wait. You got to run the numbers to see if it makes sense to do that and the differences. If you only use a 5% appreciation, it's still not going to make sense to wait.
Yeah,
right.
No, exactly.
You can always save that up and apply it later and add it to principal and have them recast the loan later. So it's not a big deal. But it just, don't wait and try to save more and more money, because talk to somebody like myself. Let us run the numbers and show you the difference. And you're going to go, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then from there, make your choice.
Correct. Make an educated choice.
Yeah.
Not just make a choice.
Yeah. Don't just write it off.
Yeah. I'm Ed Parcaut. I want to thank you for being here. You can find me Ed Parcaut everywhere, and you can get my book at getedsbook.com. And Francisco Ruvalcaba, 209-493-2400. Now, next time I'll have him put his website out there.
Will do.
What's your website?
It's franciscoruvalcaba.com or franciscoruvalcabajr.com.
There you go. Go check them out and get it done today. Please stop waiting. All right. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. If you like what we do, subscribe and share.